Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everybody to the Dyson Sphere Program. I'm joined here with a very special friend. You'll hear her in the background. I'm starting this journey into Dyson Sphere Program to see about putting a Dyson Sphere on stars. I don't know if it's you just do it on the one star because you're in a cluster of systems, different star types. You only do it on one star or multiple stars. That is a question that we will work on finding an answer.
Everything here is yours. As one of Cosmic and the pioneer of the Dyson Sphere Program, you will explore this cluster's step by step. By using the resources
That's my angel.
Dyson Sphere to provide energy from the center grid to maintain hope. Starting from scratch, I have chosen designated planet to start with, which has necessary resources for initial development. Now please drive the space capsule to the planet.
So this will be the initial planet that we start on. I have made the resource nodes to be infinite for this first playthrough. And this will just be kind of a let's play to see about making the Dyson Sphere.
Power Facilities has its power supply area. Use the Tesla Tower to extend the area of the power grid.
And I will be trying to get going for some of the achievements. So first off, you'll notice that I do not destroy the ship.
This is Icarus, a lightweight industrial weapon with powerful functionality. You can use the arrow keys or right-click on the destination to control it.
Okay, and collected a few resources. Now I need to start the research to build up to the Dyson Sphere. And the goal is to basically to automate as much as you can. Well, to pretty much automate everything, and you will have to do it on multiple planets to be able to get all the resources that you need. You can chain commands together. You could use your trees and plant matter as fuel for your Icarus. I believe they're also might be used for later on in the game for other little things. And here's the miner to begin the automation process.
It's not powered. You need to keep it within the power coverage area and supply it with power facilities in order to maintain its normal works.
You built a smelter, which can smelt basic materials.
Okay, so
such as iron ingots.
you use the wind turbines for your initial power.
Get pushed out of it autonomously.
Not all power
You need to
facilities
use sorters and conveyor belts.
use the Tesla Tower to extend the area of the power grid.
Okay, and now I've jumped ahead to when I have a miner on both the iron and the copper, and I'm going to start putting them into boxes so I could just grab from the boxes for the resources. I am going to work on automating it, which have to collect some stuff first, collect resources, collect rocks. If you collect the individual rocks, not from the resource piles, you can also get some silicon and titanium from them. And you use the conveyor belts to move your resources from point to point and get them into smelters to start smelting them into your metal ingots, basically to start your process. And of course, you have to watch your fuel on your Icarus suit. And for that, you use the plant matter, the wood, and eventually coal, energized graphite, and eventually fuel, and ultimately hydrogen rods. And here's the smelter to start smelting.
Which can smelt basic materials, such as iron ingots and copper ingots automatically. While you want to make the raw materials and products get in and out of it autonomously, you need to use sorters and ingots.
The sorters are the things that push the...
You can use the less than key to copy the recipe, and the greater than key to paste
You can now
next
click the
building
planet
needs to
thumbnail
set
button in
saves.
the lower left corner of the screen, or press the
put the
Enter
resources into and take them out of your different buildings. And of course, while we're doing this, we're also doing some of the background research that only requires the basic resources.
You have a building without recipe set. Please
And of course, you have technology,
after selecting the
technology. You can research technology, and you can also research upgrades for the Icarus, so you can eventually fly and go to the different planets. It'll also speed up production. You'll have more of the little drone things to build whatever you're building, and you'll be able to support more fuel and have a higher energy for your suit. This is really kind of my first run. I've played around with it, but I've never really gone far with it. I don't think I've really taken off from the planet, the starting planet. I was working on a laptop that it would do basic things, but it really lagged a lot, so it was very hard to do much gaming with it.
You can now click the planet thumbnail button in the lower left corner of the screen, or press the N key to try the planet view mode.
Well, I would like to thank for those of you who go on this little adventure with me, and let me know what kind of things you're into. Have you seen this game before? Are you into this type of? Are you into planet builder, survival games? Just let me know. And here I've jumped ahead to a point that I've automated a little bit more. Got the iron and the copper smelting and getting it assembled into microprocessors and some of the other components that you need for the building process. eventually I need to start getting to where I automate the building of the different buildings that I need, like the conveyor belts, the sorters, and basically any building that you can put down. It's easier if you automate it, so you don't have to worry about going through and crafting it yourself and taking your suit energy, and it just makes the crafting process go a little bit quicker if you could just go grab the items that you need. And if you kind of see the yellow background right there, that is your power grid coverage, and the yellow is kind of signifying that you're pushing the limits of your power. You'll start running into issues soon. So the biggest thing is that you need to begin with, put more wind turbines up. Eventually you go into your solar energy, and then there's also a I'm trying to remember what the name is. It's another production facility that uses coal and fuel. This is the pre-recorded. I recorded about 3 hours to begin with, just so kind of get a head start into some of the automation to make later on episodes where it's not as tedious. And I know that I'm not one of those that plans out and does all the calculations on making it the most efficient. I just basically put the buildings up, and as I see that I need more of something, then I work on optimizing that for what I need at the time. Eventually we could get drones, so to begin with, there's a lot of your lines will look spaghetti going all over the place, as you can see, but eventually you can get drones that you can do away with a lot of the long lines. You'll just have the lines for the processing portion of what you're doing, and then you can have the drones take the parts wherever they're needed. But that's later on. You still have to do the research to get up to there. And like right here, I was running low on the ingots, so I expanded my processing facility to be able to smelt more of the ingots up. And as you can see, I ran out of sorters again, so now I will have to go and work on building some sorters up, which is why eventually I will need to get the buildings to where they're automatically processed, and I could just go pick up the sorters instead of having to grab all the parts and then make the sorters. And as you can see, I'm running out of power. I have two different lines for the iron ore, one going and making your ingots. For the iron, you can use the ingots or the ore for making ingots or magnets. For the copper, you can only do it into copper ingots. I have not seen a use for copper ore, except for the ingots. And then some of your resources are the iron, the copper, and coal, oil, water, stone, and I haven't messed with it, but you can modify your Icarus suit there and modify the way it looks. But that does take resources, and I will explore that later on in the series. And this is just some of the things you have to go through to make the different items in your suit. One of the good things about it is that it will make any of the prerequisite items before it makes the item you're looking for. Here I'm actually going to be placing some more miner to help with the ore production, so that, because as of right now I'm not having a lot of ore going to my second line that is making the magnet. So anything that takes the magnets is not being built because no magnets are being built. So now I need to hook that up to the line. So I think this will be my last really time I'm editing a long gaming session down like this and narrating it. I will work on doing it all together so that it flows more. But this is only my second video, and I recorded both of my gaming sessions at the same time, pretty much the same time, one after the other, and I'm just getting started, so I trying to find a solution that works for me. I don't want to copy anybody or whatnot, so I am just trying to find my own manner of doing it the way that I feel more comfortable. And now I have this storage that's full of iron ore, so I'm going to go ahead and hook it up to the magnets and then I have, I can, basically I'm putting into the storage so that I have a storage, but then I'm also taking it out so that the magnets won't run out of, will take longer to run out of the ore to make them. I think it's a little bit easier to explain it as you go instead of recording everything and then voicing over and trying to remember where everything was and what you were thinking at the time that you were doing it and all that. I recorded this like last Thursday, and it's almost been a week before I was able to get around to this. Now I'm putting a miner on the coal so I can automate getting the coal, because you can use the coal as a power source, and it takes forever to mine it by hand. So I'm going to start the process of mining it so that I can just go grab some and put it in the suit whenever I need it. And like I was saying, that running your power and getting your power wherever you need it is very important in this. I will, as you progress further, you're able to upgrade a lot of these, the conveyor belts, the sorters, and the buildings up to higher tiers, which will process things faster. We'll process the ore and assemble things and all that. It will do it at a faster pace. Now I'm going to set up some stone miner. That is has multiple uses. One of them is you can set it up to where I believe it's a smelter that you smelt down into the stone bricks, or is it foundations? But you use those for your storages, and I think you use that also to make your slabs that will help you increase your workable space that you can build on, because you cannot build on the water, and it's a lot easier to even things out and figure out where you're basically putting a floor down. And the floor covers water and all that, so you have a more of a building space. Yeah, you can run a sorter from a building to another building, but you have to make sure it's not too close, or you won't be able to run the sorter in. You have to have a little bit of space, but then that will also leave it so you can, if you need to put a pathway, a conveyor belt in there, that also gives you room that you could do that and do sorters in between those too, if you need to. Like I said, right now it's not optimized for buildings, production time, all that. It would be quicker to run something direct than through all the sorters, because the sorters are slow the process down. But I am working with what I have right now, and when I have the new items and new ways of doing things, I will possibly tear this down and redesign it. And here I have, I'm gonna start doing buses, a bus system over to a little area so that I can start putting together the different pieces that I need, like such as storages. Well, storage I'm not gonna have over there because it takes the foundations. But like the conveyor belts and the sorters, and so I'm sending a lot of the parts that we're making, such as just the ingots, the magnets, the microprocessors, sending them over to one area, sending them over to start combining them, putting them through assemblers, and getting the parts that I need, the buildings I need. I do have a little bit of problem with OCD, so I do place and replace a lot, try and even out things, which makes it really hard on a planet, a round planet, because you have areas that you're trying to put straight lines on a round surface, so it's not very effective, and especially as you get away from the equator. And this over here is where I'm sending all the components to start making the buildings. And you do use some of the buildings to make later on buildings, such as to go from a sorter 1 to a sorter 2. You use the sorter 1 in the building of it, plus add other things to get to the sorter 2. And you have that for a few different buildings. Actually, I think any building that is upgradable to a second tier uses the building before. Like a sorter 3 would use the sorter 2, which already uses a sorter 1. need to work on the upgrades to get a faster drone speed. This is... It takes forever for the drones to, especially if you're going any length, going to any long length, then it takes forever for your drones to finish building the parts that you need, or basically placing down, because you've already built them. And especially if you're trying to do other things except for what the drone wants, then it takes even longer because you're moving away from the area that the drone wants to build in.
It will automatically transport them as long as the supply facility and the receiving.
Here to get more conveyor belts, so I will eventually start making the conveyor belts, so then I don't have to worry about making them in my inventory. And to begin with, you don't start off with a whole bunch of energy in your suit, so it really takes a lot to keep it going, and which keeps the drones going. And depending on the fuel source you put in there is really how much you'll get out of each piece of fuel that goes through it. Which coal is better than your logs and your plant matter, but your logs are better than your plant matter. So it all depends on what fuel source you use. Okay, a good thing about the sorters,
facilities. It will automatically transport them as long as the supply facility and the receiving facility are functional.
the sorters will go I believe up to 3 lines away. And I haven't noticed yet that I'm out of sorters, so I do a lot of destroying that I don't need to do right here. And when I place this sorter back, those of you with eagle eyes will notice that it's not hooked the way it needs to be. I got the 2 lines hooked up instead of the line to the assembler. Now I just noticed that I am out of sorters, which would be helpful if I had the line up, but I don't have that line yet. soon, very soon. And as you're doing power, it's also very important to make sure your power grids are hooked up if you're wanting them to be hooked up, or you get a warning symbol that your power grid's not. It's hooked up to power but has no power in the grid. And now I'm expanding my power grid. Hi, babies. There's my girl again. So, because I'm running out of power. What you doing? So I just increased put a lot more of the wind turbines on there to increase my power. So hopefully I won't have to worry about that in the near future. And there is a lot of planning that goes into this to especially seeing how you do have to spaghettify the lines to begin with. That trying to figure out how to get one product to another place, around other places. And I finally noticed that I'm not making any conveyors because that sorter is not hooked up. If you've been this far with me, please consider giving the video a like, and if you haven't already, just subscribe for more items like this, and let me know what kind of things you would like to see. There's also a lot of just stopping and making sure things are running the way that you intended, and making sure that your input is sufficient for your output. The good thing about the storage is, as you saw with the conveyor belts, is that you can limit how much is stored, so it will only fill up those spots, and then once that's done, then it'll stop until it has room again. So you don't have to keep on building something that you might not need to keep on building, and which takes power away from the system. And I do a lot of like destroying or trimming the lines, just so to make it seem more efficient, instead of having a part that just sits there forever because it doesn't have any way to get used. And I like putting basically running everything into a storage unit to begin with, so that if I ever need it, I could always grab it to use if I need to make a part fast, or if I need to run it somewhere else, and then I could worry about making sure that it's being supplied after that. But for me, it makes the process quicker in my mind. Now I'm trying to figure out what I need for the Tesla towers to start automating that. It is also important to set your recipes, like it was saying before, just so that to make sure your building is working properly. I know there's a spot in here that I did not set up, or I forgot to set the recipe for one of the assemblers over on the microprocessor, but I remember eventually. Like I said, making sure that things are working properly. Figuring out what else I need to build. I know it's not that efficient to have your lines backed up, but for me, that's saying to me that I had things sufficiently covered. If I see a place that seems to be like it's lacking, then I know I need to beef that up. But I won't worry about well, if this makes it at 3 parts per second, then I need to have this kind of input. This is a game for fun, so I just see, well, I'm being supplied enough, so we're good here. That's the way I see it. So I do a lot of just standing there and making sure things are running smoothly. Like right now, I'm seeing that not a lot of the ingots are going past the assembler and the next sorter to get over to the other machines that need the ironing ingots. It's been a while since I really messed around with much in Dyson Sphere. That there's also a lot of new buildings that I gotta play around with to see how they work and get them to play together nicely. Here's my babies. There you are. You having fun? Hi. Hi. Now I'm going to work on getting the research facilities up so I don't have to. For one thing, I need to start making the matrices, and the first matrice is the electromagnetic, and so I will need to work on making that up so I can do further my research. So right now I'm just working on getting all the inputs I need to make the buildings. I finally realized that assembler doesn't have a recipe to go off of, so it's not hasn't been working. But now that should double my input of, or double my output of microchips going into the storage, which I am using to go over for to make the buildings. Of course, the research center is also using them too. So I send that to a couple places so far. And that is one of the nice updates or nice things since I did anything with Dyson Sphere, is that you don't have to keep on going up and down on the to go over a line. You could just basically just set it up to and draw the line, and if it needs to go make that little hump, it will. Checking what pieces I need to bring over to put into making the matrix, the research labs. Sometimes it makes it go a little bit faster if you walk along the pathway that you're trying to build, because then the drones won't have as far to go between you and what they're building, so they'll make it a little bit faster. Here's where I have to go back and trace my past to see why I'm not getting any parts down the line yet. It's because the line's not built yet. And of course I also need to put the sorter on to put the product onto the line. Okay, that should start sending that over. And that line's filling up. So I should start having some of the labs built. So now get a storage so that I can store up the labs and stockpile them for as I need them. Now I'll see about making I think I need to look at my iron ingot line right there. Figuring out what I need and how to bring everything over that I need for to make the miners. Ah. Okay, that gives me some of the parts I need. Yeah, I can't really run that there, so I'm gonna have to figure out someplace else to run that line. There we go. We do it right up here.
Matrix Lab. You can use it to make super matrices, or research technologies that require them to unlock. The super matrices are the source code of the center brain for maintaining the home world. You can upload as many super matrices to the center brain as possible. You can be benefit to unlock more actual world technologies by operating the home world simultaneously.
Like I said, you need to make sure you have it far enough or you won't be able to run a sorter between the assembler and the storage. And that makes it a lot easier when you have that automated for the buildings. So they're not gonna just go pick up a stack like I just did the sorters. Now I've picked up a stack of research buildings so that I can start building the matrices for research purposes. And I can kind of automate research. Like I said, it's a lot quicker if you run the line straight instead of using sorter. So I kind of use that here just to turn the conveyors to run straight.
Matrix Lab. You can use it to make super matrices or research technologies that require them to unlock. The super matrices are the source code of the center brain for maintaining the home. You can upload as many super matrices to the center brain as possible. You can be benefit to unlock more actual world technologies by operating the whole world simultaneously.
Now I'm making the matrices, let that build up for a little bit, and now I'm gonna put the research right here behind it, and I will hook them up directly. Now I'm going to set up all the researches I need for that. Takes the matrices to research. And let that go while I'm working on some other things. As I was saying earlier, you can, with the stone, you can both build the stone brick and smelt it down for the glass. And now I'm gonna work on the foundations. Oh no, this isn't the foundations yet. This is, you need steel for that, which I just opened, but I haven't got to it yet. This is actually for the storage, to automate building the storage buildings. This is only my second video, so I am hoping that I added a picture of double to begin with, if I can figure out how to do that. If not, I will make sure and I will get her picture, so if you're curious on how pretty she is. She's a pretty baby. Now I can make some storages, so I can just grab the buildings and go wherever I need, and I don't have to worry about making them in my personal inventory, which takes time and energy. And I think the last thing that I'm gonna do for this video is work on making the energetic graphite, which is a better power source than just regular coal. And for that, I'm also going to work on increasing my production or my mining of the coal, and hooking that up so that I can take advantage of everything. I was just about to say that, but he beat me to it. Now I just need to hook everything up. Okay, now that I have an increased production in coal, now I'm going to work on the. You just run the coal through a smelter, and that gives you your energized graphite.
Can help you to manage your production base.
One thing that I need to start using more is that you can, if you set up one of these, you can go through and just copy that and paste that into paste that further, so all your inputs would be the same, and all your inputs and outputs would be the same unless it doesn't have a building for it to hook to or anything for it to hook to. And then you could just add as you need it. But that would save a lot of time on running all the connectors and setting the recipes. Which I just did there. And one more line for the output.
Your production compound has reached a certain scale. Now click the Statistics panel button at the bottom right corner of the screen to view statistics. It includes the output consumption of each item, electricity data, etc. Use these dynamic data can help you to manage your production base.
Okay, and that is coming to the end. I will get this up on the channel, and I will have a follow-up video soon for it. I appreciate everybody who's joined me, and please consider giving it a like and subscribe.